Video 21, Part 13C of 25, Outputs from the Estimate Costs process. The purpose of this video is to develop a WBS to present the deliverables from the Estimate Costs process. The Estimate Costs process is the second process in the Project Cost Management knowledge area and is related to the Planning Process group. Please click the like button. Subscribe to my channel and share with others. Thank you. How important is the cost estimates output in the estimate costs process? In the PMBOK guide, the cost estimates output is a critical deliverable of the estimate costs process. Here we have the key components of cost estimates. First, quantitative data, such as labor, materials, equipment, and contingency reserves. Second, assumptions and constraints, which are justification for estimates. Third, level of precision, such as rough versus definitive estimates. Fourth, documentation, such as supporting details for transparency. Here's why the cost estimates output is so important. 1. Foundation for budgeting and funding. Cost estimates provide the basis for developing the project budget via the Determine Budget process. Cost estimates help secure funding approval from stakeholders by justifying financial requirements. 2. Supports decision-making. Cost estimates helps in evaluating project feasibility, return on investment, and cost-benefit analysis. Cost estimates enables trade-off analysis, such as choosing between different materials, vendors, or approaches. 3. Basis for cost control. Cost estimates serves as a baseline for monitoring and controlling costs via the control costs process. Cost estimates deviations from estimates trigger corrective actions to avoid cost overruns. 4. Enhances stakeholder confidence. Accurate estimates improve credibility with clients, sponsors, and team members. Cost estimates reduces the risk of disputes due to unrealistic financial expectations. 5. Input to other processes. Cost estimates is used in risk management to assess financial impacts of risks. Cost estimates supports procurement planning, such as vendor bids and contract pricing. How can a poor cost estimates analysis harm the estimate costs process? A poor cost estimates analysis can severely undermine the estimate costs process, leading to cascading negative effects throughout the project lifecycle. Here's how it can cause harm. 1. Budget overruns and financial shortfalls. Underestimating costs can result in insufficient funding, leading to mid-project financial crises. Overestimating costs can result in unnecessary budget allocation, reducing competitiveness or wasting resources. For example, a construction project with poor material cost estimates may run out of funds before completion. 2. Inaccurate project feasibility and approval decisions. Sponsors, stakeholders may approve or reject projects based on flawed data, leading to: first, investing in unviable projects if costs are understated. Second, missing profitable opportunities if costs are inflated. 3. Poor risk management and contingency planning. Inadequate contingency reserves, due to optimistic estimates, can result in unprepared for risks. Excessive reserves, due to padded estimates, can result in wasted funds that could be used elsewhere. 4. Stakeholder distrust and conflicts. Frequent cost revisions erode confidence in the project team. We can have disputes with clients, vendors, or sponsors over unexpected expenses. For example, a software project exceeding initial estimates may lead to client disputes over change orders. 5. Schedule delays and scope cuts. Cost overruns force delays to secure additional funding or scope reductions to stay within budget. For example, A manufacturing project may cut features or quality to offset underestimated production costs. 6. Procurement and contract issues. Vendor bids may not align with realistic budgets, leading to, first, low-quality suppliers if the project is forced to cut costs. Second, contract renegotiations due to budget mismatches. 7. Ineffective cost control and performance measurement. Earned value management becomes unreliable if baseline estimates are flawed. Variance analysis, such as CPI and SPI, loses meaning, making it hard to track true performance. 8. Reputation damage and future project impacts. Organizations' PMs gain a reputation for poor financial planning, affecting future project approvals. For example, a consulting firm known for cost overruns may lose clients. In conclusion, the cost estimate's output is vital because it directly impacts budget accuracy, financial planning, and project success. Poor estimates can lead to cost overruns, funding shortfalls, and project failure, making this a high-priority deliverable in project management. A poor cost estimates analysis doesn't just affect budgeting, but it also jeopardizes project viability, stakeholder trust, risk management, and overall success. As a final message, here's how to avoid poor cost estimates. First, use multiple estimation techniques, such as analogous, parametric, bottom-up, and three-point. Second, involve experts and historical data. How important is the basis of estimates output in the estimate costs process? In the PMBOK guide, the basis of estimates is a critical output of the estimate costs process. Key components of a strong basis of estimates. First, estimation methods used, such as analogous, parametric, bottom-up, and three-point. Second, assumptions and constraints, such as inflation rates and resource availability. Third, sources of data, such as historical, vendor quotes, and market rates. Fourth, range of accuracy, such as rough order of magnitude versus definitive estimate. Fifth, risks and uncertainties affecting the estimate. The importance of a strong basis of estimates lies in the following aspects. 1. Transparency and credibility. The basis of estimates provides a detailed justification for how cost estimates were derived, including methodologies, assumptions, constraints, and data sources. This transparency helps stakeholders trust the estimates and understand their reliability. 2. Supporting documentation for future reference. The basis of estimates serves as a historical record, helping in audits, benchmarking, and lessons learned for future projects. If estimates need to be revisited, such as due to scope changes, the basis of estimates provides the foundation for adjustments. 3. Risk and contingency planning. The basis of estimates often includes confidence levels, ranges, or accuracy metrics, such as plus or minus 10%. The basis of estimates helps in risk analysis and determining appropriate contingency reserves. 4. Stakeholder alignment and decision-making. Stakeholders, such as sponsors, clients, and team members, rely on the basis of estimates to evaluate feasibility and make informed decisions about project funding and approvals. The basis of estimates helps prevent disputes by documenting why certain estimates were chosen. 5. Compliance and governance. In regulated industries, such as government and construction, the basis of estimates may be required for contractual or compliance purposes. The basis of estimates ensures adherence to organizational or industry cost estimating standards. How can a poor basis of estimates analysis harm the estimate costs process? A poor basis of estimates analysis can significantly undermine the estimate costs process, leading to financial, operational, and strategic risks for a project. Here's how a poor basis of estimates analysis can cause harm. 1. Inaccurate cost estimates. Without a well-documented basis of estimates, estimates may rely on guesswork, outdated data, or flawed assumptions. This can result in underestimation, leading to budget shortfalls, or overestimation, causing unnecessary funding locks. 2. Lack of stakeholder trust and disputes. If the basis of estimates lacks transparency, stakeholders, such as sponsors, clients, and team, may question the validity of the estimates. Disputes can arise over funding approvals, change requests, or contract terms. 3. Poor risk management and unplanned contingencies. A weak basis of estimates often fails to account for uncertainties, such as market fluctuations and resource shortages. Without proper risk-adjusted estimates, the project may face unexpected cost overruns with no contingency reserves. 4. Ineffective decision-making. Project managers and sponsors rely on the basis of estimates to make go, no-go decisions, prioritize work, or adjust scope. A flawed basis of estimates can lead to wrong strategic choices, such as pursuing an unviable project or cutting critical resources. 5. Schedule delays and scope creep. If costs are misestimated, the project may run out of funds prematurely, forcing rework, delays, or scope reductions. Poor basis of estimates documentation makes it harder to justify additional budget requests to stakeholders. 6. Compliance and audit failures. In regulated industries, such as government and construction, a weak basis of estimates can lead to, first, contract penalties for inaccurate bids. Second, failed audits due to insufficient cost justification. Third, legal disputes if estimates are deemed negligent. 7. Difficulty in benchmarking and lessons learned. A poorly structured basis of estimates provides no reliable historical data for future projects. Teams repeat the same mistakes, perpetuating cost estimation inefficiencies. In conclusion, the basis of estimates is a vital output, as it ensures accountability, traceability, and reliability in cost estimating. Without it, estimates may be questioned, leading to budget overruns, misalignment, or project failures. An inadequate estimate basis not only affects the estimate costs process but also generates budget crises, stakeholder conflicts, and project failures. As examples of poor basis of estimates practices, we have, first, no documented assumptions, such as assuming labor rates won't change. Second, over-reliance on a single method, such as only using analogous estimates without adjustments. Third, ignoring expert judgment or historical data from past projects. Fourth, failing to update estimates when new information arises. Following PMBOK best practices for BOE ensures reliable, defensible, and adaptable cost management. PMBOK emphasizes its role in supporting sound financial decision-making throughout the project lifecycle. As a final message, we have some strategies to have a solid basis of estimates. First, use multiple estimation techniques, such as parametric, bottom-up, and three-point. Second, document all assumptions, constraints, and data sources. Third, include confidence intervals, such as this estimate is accurate to within plus or minus 15%. Fourth, review the basis of estimates with experts for validation. Fifth, update the basis of estimates regularly as the project progresses. How important is the project documents updates output in the estimate costs process? In the estimate costs process, the project documents updates output is important but typically not the primary focus of the process. Here's the key importance of project documents updates in estimate costs. 1. Supporting role. While the main output of estimate costs is the cost estimates and basis of estimates, updates to project documents ensure that supporting information, such as assumptions, constraints and lessons learned, is captured for accuracy and future reference. 2. Documents commonly updated. First, assumption log is updated with new cost-related assumptions or changes to existing ones, such as inflation rates, resource rates. Second, lessons learned register is updated with insights from cost estimation techniques or historical data. Third, risk register is updated with new risks identified during cost estimation, such as price fluctuations and resource unavailability. 3. Traceability and transparency. Project documents updates ensure that cost estimates are well documented, auditable, and justifiable to stakeholders. How can a poor project documents updates analysis harm the estimate costs process? A poor project documents updates analysis in the estimate costs process can lead to significant risks, inaccuracies, and inefficiencies in cost management. Here's how a poor project documents updates analysis can harm the process. 1. Inaccurate cost estimates. First, outdated assumptions. If the assumption log isn't updated, cost estimates may rely on incorrect data, such as outdated labor rates, material costs, or exchange rates. Second, unrecorded constraints. Missing updates on constraints, such as regulatory changes and market conditions, can lead to unrealistic estimates. 2. Increased project risk. First, uncaptured risks. Failure to update the risk register with cost-related risks, such as supplier delays and inflation, means contingencies won't be properly budgeted. Second, poor contingency planning. Without documenting lessons learned from past projects, the team may repeat costly mistakes. 3. Poor stakeholder confidence. First, lack of transparency. If supporting documents, such as basis of estimates, aren't maintained, stakeholders may question the validity of cost projections. Second, disputes and misalignment. Unclear or missing documentation can lead to disagreements over cost assumptions with clients or sponsors. 4. Inefficient decision-making. First, delayed approvals. If cost estimates lack proper documentation, such as rationale for reserves, budget approvals may be delayed. Second, repeated work. Teams may waste time reanalyzing costs if historical data isn't properly recorded in lessons learned. 5. Compliance and audit issues. First, failed audits. In regulated industries, poor documentation can lead to compliance failures if cost justifications are not traceable. Second, contract disputes. Inaccurate or missing records can weaken a project's position in claims or litigation. In conclusion, project document updates are important for accuracy, accountability, and future reference, but they are a supporting outcome, not the primary deliverable, of the cost estimating process. To avoid the problems associated with inadequate project document updates, we should, first, regularly review and update key documents, such as the assumptions log, risk register, and lessons learned. Second, utilize version control to track changes to cost-related assumptions. Third, ensure cross-referencing between cost estimates and supporting documents. Finally, while project document updates may seem like a secondary outcome, inadequate analysis can compromise cost reliability, increase risk, and undermine stakeholder confidence. Strong documentation ensures that estimates are defensible and actionable. This video is finished, but we will have in the next videos. 1. Creation of WBS for different projects using WBS Schedule Pro. 2. Examples of project plans using MS Project. And many more videos. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like this video and want us to continue with new topics. Subscribe to the channel. All content is free. You can also comment suggesting topics you would like to see on this channel. Thank you.